Hi everyone and welcome back to the Chasing Parks Golf Podcast. Within this episode I've got another player interview with Ladies European Tour Pro Moa Folke. Moa, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm brilliant. I'm doing fantastic. And I believe you're back home in Tranås, is that right?
Yeah, that's how it is.
So obviously you've had a pretty hectic start to, 2025 with tournaments and stuff. I take it when you get the chance to go back home, you just enjoy it as much as possible?
Yeah, it's been lots of traveling. Early in the year, I haven't been home much at all. So yeah, as you said, now it's nice to be home. I get to see my family, see my friends, but then also like see my coaches and get some good practice in. So yeah, it's good to be home.
And I believe today you were actually practicing with a former podcast guest, Kajsa.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's her family lives here in my hometown now. So yeah, it's always nice to have some friends to practice with.
So in terms of this year, obviously you alluded to there's been a hell of a lot of traveling. I mean, from like Saudi to Australia to South Africa. I mean, that's a lot of air miles. And have you got any bad airport stories at all from your time flying? Is there anything in particular?
So far this year, it's been very good. But yeah, as you mentioned, I've been everywhere. And yeah, early I did preseason in Thailand with one of my friends there. So yeah, I've been all over the place.
I mean, to be fair, when it comes to like airports and stuff, like, are you okay with that kind of stuff? Like, I know it can be very, very stressful experience.
No, I think you just learn how to handle it. It's part of the job, and it's kind of you just try and stay as relaxed as possible. And yeah, most of the time it's all good. No lost luggage this year yet, so far so good.
And then obviously with the long haul flights, I mean, how do you combat the boredom? Like how do you combat the boredom? Do you just like watch, films, read books and stuff?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Netflix. I got very caught up early in the year of the Drive to Survive show with the Formula One. So I went through like 7 seasons of that on the flight.
But
it goes, as you say, on the long haul flight. It goes quickly. But yeah, I'd say lots of Netflix on the flights, and I do sleep quite well. So
after watching 7 seasons of Drive to Survive, is it fair to say that you enjoy Formula One?
Yeah, I'd say I'm a bit of a fangirl now.
What's your favorite team or favorite driver? There you go.
That's such a tough question, but I do like both the Ferrari and the Mercedes team.
So you're a big fan of Lewis?
Yes.
That was a very quick and definitive yes. So you're a very big Lewis fan. In terms of the tournaments this year, obviously you've had some good results. Well, just looking at your results, actually, you've had some good results in the Australian swing. Like, have you had a favourite tournament so far that you played, and has there been a week in particular that you've enjoyed the most?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's been a nice, good, solid start to the season. I tend to struggle quite a bit early on because we usually do a bit of changes, like either in the swing or in the practice or somehow over the winter break. And it's quite a short break. So I usually find myself not so tournament ready. So I'd say like all of the weeks has kind of been like different parts of the game that have really clicked. In the beginning, I hit it for the Saudi event. I hit it really well off the tee and I started putting well. And then that kind of carried on, and I started hitting better and better iron shots coming into Australia and then South Africa. So, it's been different parts of the game that's been good. Overall, have I had a favorite week? I don't know. I don't know if you've seen, but we've been followed by some pretty poor weather.
Yeah, I've watched a fair bit of it. Obviously, due to the cyclone in Queensland, obviously that event got shut off, and then basically the event at Coffs Harbour was pretty much underwater for majority of the week, wasn't it? So
yeah, so and then in South Africa, it rained a lot as well. So it's been a bit difficult with sticking to your routines and doing like your normal prep. And I think as most golfers, we are pretty much into our routines. We like things to be a certain way. And so it's always challenging when that gets thrown off and you have to kind of be flexible and adjust. So it's been a challenge that way, like to get your practice in and to prep the way you want. But we have still been to some really nice places. So I'd say probably my favorite event so far is when we played the second week in Australia. Then we played a golf course that was right on the beach by the ocean. And that's Wollongong, yeah, that's right. So that was really pretty. So I think that was maybe my favorite week.
yeah, so I remember watching that tournament. Obviously, at that time in the UK, it was like pretty much like early in the morning, and obviously tried to stay up and stuff. But like just looking at the pictures from the TV screen, it looked like something off of a postcard. Like
that was beautiful.
Wollongong,
yeah. So that was cool. So that was I think and that was also the week when we had the most like predictable weather, if to say it that way. So yeah.
So obviously, you were supposed to have 3 tournaments in Australia. Obviously, it got cut down to 2 because of the cyclone. How difficult at that time was it for you and all the pros, to try to try and get prepared, not knowing that there's a possibility there is no tournament? Like how difficult was that?
No, I mean that it's always challenging. You have made your plans, and the normal situation is that you can just stick to that and do what is planned. Like worst case, you have a bit of a thunder delay or something. It's very rare that we have completely cancelled events. But yeah, me and the girls I was traveling with, we chose to go down to Coffs Harbour, and we didn't practice at all that week actually, because everything was just underwater. We hit at a range maybe once or twice, but other than that, I only did like workouts in the gym. I went for little runs, and we cooked a lot that week, which was nice. But obviously, it was very different from what we had planned.
Yeah, and then speaking of the Coffs Harbour tournament, obviously, I believe you and either of the players didn't get to practice at all on that course just because it was underwater. I mean, what was that? What was that experience like? Obviously, playing a tournament the next day after having next to no practice on a course.
Right. No, it was pretty different. I mean, you're used to getting to play the course and be able to do some practice. Now it was very like you didn't know if you were allowed to practice because, of course, they have to save the course for the tournament days. But I think I managed pretty well to stay like very chill and not try and worry so much about it. Obviously knowing that I didn't have the reps that I usually have before I compete, but I think I shot 6 under the first day, so obviously it didn't face me too much,
Yeah, I think you were tied leader with Emma Spitz, I think, weren't you?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. But yeah, so It's always nice to show yourself that the prep doesn't always matter. At least the prep of that week, as long as you've done, good practice before, and you can stay calm and just believe in what you can do. And yeah, so it worked out well. And then I had a poor third round there that week, but was lots of positives to bring, and I saw lots of improvement in my game, which was nice.
So effectively this season already, it's not the LET, it's the LERT. So it's the Ladies European Reigning Tour.
Right, yeah. It seems like it. I really hope Europe is going to show off its good side this summer.
Yeah, I was going to say the mass tournaments in Europe. Are you holding your breath on, rain outbreaks? I mean, it's Europe at the end of the day, so.
I know, yeah. But, this year it rained when we were in Saudi as well this year. And apparently they had 4 days of rain each year. And it rained for 3 days straight. So, I don't know anymore. I'm just thinking maybe Europe will be nice. I'm going to keep my hopes up.
In Saudi, in the desert, how on earth did it rain for 3 days in a row?
It was really funny, actually. One of the girls that traveled with her umbrella broke on the plane, like in the travel case. And I was like, you're fine. You don't need your umbrella. You're in Saudi. And then it ended up raining every single day. She could borrow one, though, so she was fine. But it was just funny.
Yeah, I was going to say there, was that you public enemy number one because you said that now, and she's got to deal 3 days in a row without an umbrella.
I was like, what are the odds? But no, luckily she could borrow one, so she was all good. But it was just funny because I was like, that's a shame, but don't worry about it. You won't need it this week.
So in terms of your schedule for this year, so in the coming months, what's your kind of schedule looking like in terms of the European events? Do you plan to play majority of the European event?
Yeah, the plan for now is to play basically all of them. The schedule is pretty nice like that, with a few weeks off here and there. I don't mind playing 4 or 5 events in a row. So, I'll set up my schedule like that. And then it's always a bit, I know I have my full card for LET, so I get to play all of them. But then if I do well, I might get into 1 or 2 of the majors. So that's also always a bit uncertain, and that might change my schedule a bit. But as of now, I'll play the majority of them.
And I'm led to believe that obviously you quite like the course at Evian as well for like when you play the Jabra ladies as well. So I imagine a good week there could potentially lead to an Evian spot. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how it works. So I look forward to going there. That's always, they always put on the course in great shape for us. And it's such a nice, just peaceful little place. Be nice to go back there.
I was good to say, even if the golf isn't going great, you've got Lake Geneva in the background. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
and then obviously in August you've got the Swedish event as well.
No, that's one of my favorite events every year. Getting to play at home, it's just special. Like, my family is always there. It's nice to play at home.
And I imagine you get a very good reception back at your home event as well. And do some of your friends come as well, like to watch it?
Yeah, last year my best friend who doesn't play golf, she came to watch a golf tournament for the first time, which was fun. So I think she's coming for 1 or 2 days this year as well. So it makes it a bit special to, have your friends and family there. And then it's just easy, it's just 2.5 hours, I think, from my house. So it's just an easy little drive there. I don't have to fly anywhere. I don't have to travel. I can just get in my car and go there. So that also, makes it nice, nice and easy.
So even now, is like your best friend, is she converting into a golf fan, or will that take a matter of time?
No, I don't think she's gonna pursue a golf career anytime soon, but she enjoys watching, so that's nice.
So taking it back to the start for yourself. So you're from Tranås. So I was going to say the next part, Jönköping, but that's a completely different place, according to yourself. So yeah, I've kind of made a mess up a little bit of that. But you're definitely from Tranås. So like, how would you describe like your kind of upbringing in Tranås? Like, is it a beautiful place? Like, it's pretty small, I presume.
Yeah, it's a small town. There's a nice lake, so my family's always had a boat, so always grown up on the lake. It's Sweden, so the summer is beautiful. The summer is short. The winter is very long, very dark, very cold. Not so good for golf. But yeah, I started playing when I was 8. My dad took me out. As you said, and I'm from a small town, so we didn't have maybe the best junior program at the time. So I always loved to play and to come out and practice, but I wasn't that good compared to the other girls my age. But then I started when I was 15, 16. I went to a golf high school, which was really good for me. It was the first time I really got to practice with people my age and have proper coaching. So yeah, after finishing high school there, I went to the States, played college golf for 4 years at Murray State in Kentucky, which was a smaller D1 school. And yeah, that was a great step. I got time there to get better. I got to play a lot. I got to play more year round, as you don't really get in Sweden. And yeah, after that, I turned pro, and here I am.
So, like with most golfers, they go to the States for university. I find it like interesting about everyone's journeys. So, like, how did that kind of scholarship at Murray State in Kentucky? How did that kind of come about?
So it was actually one of my previous coaches who had gone there himself. So he knew the coach, so he kind of introduced me, and he was like, "This girl is like super driven. She loves to practice, but yeah, she's just a little bit behind, like, the best junior golfers, but she would love to come to the States and go to college." And then that turned out to be a great program for me. I mean, the coaches there were amazing. They took such good care of me. I was also it was a good level of the team, if you say it that way, like, because I got to play all the events, but I still had some competition on the team, which was good for me because it forced me to try to work hard and play well to get a spot on the team, but I could still manage, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I had a great time there.
So, how would you kind of describe your 4 years at Murray State University? Like, did you enjoy the like the States lifestyle and stuff?
Yeah, at the time I loved it. I was like, oh, I want to go live in the States. Like, this is what I want. No, it was definitely different from Sweden, but yes, I said I really enjoyed it. I had great friends there. The coaches were so good to me, and yeah, it was a good time.
So you said to me off air that obviously Murray State University is like a smaller type of university compared to some of the bigger schools in the country. But like just looking over your amateur career, just in general, So a four-time Ohio Valley Conference first team selection for Murray State Racers. I believe you were only the third player to do so as well in OVC history. I'm led to believe that. Please don't shoot the messenger. And you were also named the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year for 2017 as well. So, like, if you look at that on paper, that looks like a very successful time.
Yeah. When you put it like that, it does sound sound good. I did play well. I had a few wins there. It's always, it's tough because I think always you compare yourself to other players who are maybe a bit ahead of you. So the OVC would be, a smaller conference with not as strong teams as like some of the bigger schools play in. Like that's quite a different level of play that it takes. But of course, I'm proud of my college career and I'm proud of what I accomplished. I know when I graduated that I am one of the most decorated players to graduate from there, from that conference. And then looking back of it now, I am proud to have done that. I'm happy with that. Then you can always say, oh, you could have done better, or you could have transferred to a better school. But for me at the time, that was the best place I could be at. And yeah, it's cool to leave with some trophies and some medals.
Yeah, for sure. And so is it fair to assume that when you assess your type of career against the likes of, players like Linn Grant, Maya Stark, Ingrid Lindblad, obviously, who's had one of the best amateur careers in possibly history, to be honest.
Yeah.
I take it when you try and compare against these girls, that's what you're trying to do. Like at the end of the day, you feel like maybe not in the terms of like, oh, they're way better than me, but like you try and compare against these type of girls.
I think if you compare my college career to theirs, that's not, then it's just a completely different thing, like what they've done. I don't know exactly, but I know for sure that Ingrid was ranked the number one amateur in the world for quite a long time. And, that's amazing. And it's inspiring to see her win here last week. And my college career does not compare to that at all. But for me, it doesn't really matter. I'm still proud of what I did then. And at the time, I was maybe comparing myself to the people who were better than me at the time more than I should have, instead of just focusing on myself. But now when I look back, I'm proud of what I did. Even though, of course, I know that a lot of people have done a lot of better things, but it doesn't really matter.
So it's kind of funny that you mentioned, obviously, Ingrid winning in the LPG Tour and only a third full start as an LPG Tour member, which is impressive. Let's just say that. So I just wanted to kind of pivot a little bit onto Swedish golf in general, because Swedish golf at the minute is on fire. Ingrid, and then you had Madeline Sagström obviously winning the match play as well. For such a relatively small country in terms of size, you've got a whole pool of fantastic golfers. It's incredible, to be honest.
Yeah, Swedish golf is really strong now. I think, as you said, you just mentioned the wins here last few weeks. I think it's amazing. I think it shows that it doesn't always matter like what practice facilities you have or how long your season is or what you have. It's if you want to make it happen, you can. And it's all about hard work. And I know them well enough to be able to say that both Ingrid and Madeline are very hard workers. And yeah, they definitely deserve it, and it's good to see.
Yeah, and like just kind of like, you know, naming some other players in the LET. I mean, you got like Johanna Gustafsson, who's won a few times on the LET as well. It just seems to be talent after talent after talent. What do you kind of put that down to? Like, is there something about maybe the kind of coaching in Sweden that maybe contributes to why they're doing so well?
Yeah, I think overall, like, we have a very good mindset from the start. We know to be able to succeed, we need to work really hard, and that's just like really engraved to all of us, I think, who do well. I also think us having such a short season, I think at first look, it looks like a disadvantage, but I think in the long term, it helps us because we learn how to make the best out of our time. And when you get out on tour, it becomes pretty hectic. The schedule, you maybe don't have so long, like with off weeks to really do a lot of practice, like you can on the road a lot, you know, like it's quite different from your amateur career. And I think then we have learned like how to kind of like be efficient and get our work done and still be able to improve. And then I think also when we grow up, like we are kind of forced to, we have such a long off season. So we get to work a lot on our technique and we get to work a lot in the gym. So we're quite used to that also, which helps when we get out on tour. It's not new to us to be able to combine like strength training with golf practice, like, because we're so used to it. And I think in the long term, that is helpful to us.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so just kind of going on about your pro journey. Obviously, I believe you turned pro in 2018. Is that right? After Murray State University. Was that what was that an easy decision for you? You know, to take the next step.
Yeah, I mean it's always hard to know where you stand. But at the time, I wanted to give it a try. So yeah, played a bit on the Swedish tour early on, and I did the qualifying for the LPGA and the Symetra tour that it was called then. It's the Epson tour today. So I did that for a bit, and yeah, I just remember that I loved it. I enjoyed it, and when I got started, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
So, like in terms of like the Epson tour, I believe you only had a handful of starts on the Epson tour in 2019 before like all the shenanigans with COVID and all that stuff. But like, what was that experience like? Obviously, Epson tour, like, okay, it's like, you know, the secondary tour to the LPGA tour, but it's still a fantastic standard. It's still you still get very tough golf courses. Playing some of the best players, like well, some of the other best players in the world. What was that experience like at first? You know, on the Epson tour. I take it, did you have to adjust at all, or was it because you'd played in college golf for so long in the States? I take it was easy.
Well, it's actually funny. I spoke about this with my coach yesterday. So the Epson tour was a really tough experience for me. And looking back at it, it was tough because I wasn't good enough to be there. That's just how it was. But yeah, I played there for about 2 seasons. I didn't manage to keep my card, so I was always back in Q school. But I got to see what it takes to play there, and I also got to see what it takes to make it out of there, as I was quite close. I traveled a bit with a few of the Swedish girls who made it. Frida Kinhult, for example, who got her LPGA card. So I got to see like, okay, that's how good she is. So that's where I have to be. So yeah, overall tough experience for me while I was there because I didn't do very well, but a big learning experience. And my coach told me yesterday, he said, you know, when you played on Epsom Tour, I think that was the best thing that ever happened to your career because no one could have explained to you how much you needed to improve, but you really got to see it there. You got to play for a whole year and you saw what your golf was good for. He said, like, he's always seen like the potential in me. So he doesn't say it like in a bad or discouraging way. He's just like, but it was so good that you got to see it because I could never have explained that to you without you experiencing it. And yeah, from there on, I've been on the LET. Just my goals haven't really been on the results. It's just been on improving and getting good enough so that one day I can go compete on the LPGA.
Yeah, you were saying to me briefly off air that like now that you wouldn't really consider going back to the Epsom Tour, is that right?
Yeah, it becomes also now with like if you do play on the LET, you get better world ranking. And you also, if you play really well, you have the opportunity to play in some major championships, which is an opportunity you don't really get on the Epsom Tour. As a European, it's also like a cost issue with the whole thing. It becomes much cheaper to be on the LET because it's shorter travel and it's easier for me to go home than be over in the States. So for me, it's quite an easy decision right now. The goal is still the same, to go compete on the LPGA with the best girls. But until then, and until I feel like I'm ready to go there, I'm gonna be in Europe and play LET.
I still think, like with the LET, like obviously the top 10 go into the final stage of LPGA Q School. I still think that's wrong. I feel like there should still be a way, you know, maybe even the top 5 of the season get automatic cards. Like it just feels weird to me.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what the talk is there. Maybe in the future there will be cards, but as always, when something is to change, it's like the top girls. I mean, unfortunately, is that way that they have to prove themselves, which is unfortunate. Like as you say, like you wish that there would be a few automatic cards, but it is what it is. And I always think if you are good enough, then you are going to end up at the right tour. Then you're going to play where you belong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying this now, but I am just remembering that 2 of the top 10 from the LET last year got their tour card, and Manon Deroy and Pauline Roussan-Bouchard. So I'm kind of counter an argument as such. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It feels like it is a way to try and prove that you do belong at the LPGA, but at the same time, it feels like you work your arse off all year round, you know, to finish in like the top 5, top 10 in the rankings.
Yeah.
Feels a little bit unjustified, like for nothing if you don't qualify at the end.
Right. Yeah, hopefully in the future there will be a better pathway to the LPGA. I think that would be good for everyone.
I mean, yeah, obviously just looking at Chiara as well, like she won 3 times last year and was number 1 in the LET order of merit. She didn't even get an LPGA Tour card. There you go. That's kind of one of the arguments as well. Yeah, we'll save that for another day. But I take I'm just kind of ranting now. I don't know why, but yes, we'll swiftly move on from that. But so like you're currently 21st on the order of merit for the LET at the early stage of the season. I take it the goal is to finish inside like the top 7, top 8.
Yeah, it's always tough to set a goal like that. That depends so much on how other people are playing. Like that's nothing that I can control. But I mean, it's my goals are always like to just keep improving, keep getting better, having fun out there, enjoying my time there. And then kind of see where that leads to. I think if I play the way I want to, I have a good chance of finishing high up on the order of merit. And then if I do, that will be great. But I don't really have any goals like that. I want to be in the top 10 or I want to do this or that. Then instead I have like, oh, my goal is that my scoring average should be this number, because that's more of what I'm in control of.
Yeah. And so in terms of the, the improvements and the stuff that you've been working on, what's the biggest one that for you, it's been the biggest improvement?
My biggest improvement, I'd say the last 3-4 months have been my short game and my putting. I've worked really hard on it for years now because it really hasn't been up to the standard that is needed on the tour I play. I'm quite a long hitter, so for a while, in a way, I've been able to kind of live on my distance a little bit. I've known that I need to improve, my wedge game, my short game, my putting, and I work really hard, and that has shown now, even in my, like I do my stats for each round, it shows that I'm chipping better now and I'm putting better. So I'm excited to see that.
And in terms of any like slight weaknesses in your game, is there still any kind of little bits that you need to work on at all, or is it
no, of course, like if you ask me, I'm like, to where I want to be, I can get a lot better. I'm working a lot on my wedge game right now, trying to really find a good wedge schedule with my distances that I can feel comfortable in and I can perform it under pressure. So I'd say that's like the biggest little project, if so to say, with my golf right now. And then, other than that, I'm just, following the same plan as I have with the rest of my game, just trying to sharpen it up. It's just trying to, find little ways to improve.
Appreciate the honesty and stuff, like you saying, like you feel like you need to get better as a player, etc. Like hopefully you do achieve that goal at least, that you're trying to improve on, etc. So you do have a professional win in 2023 at the Dimension Data Ladies Pro-Am, where you won by 3 shots to Annelise Caudal. What was that experience like in South Africa?
That was so much fun. I enjoyed that week so much. I think the last day I shot 8 under, and that's one of my lowest rounds that I've ever had. So no, it was a good time, and then I went on from there to do really well on the LET events in South Africa. So that just really kicked off something for me. I think, proving to myself that I can play well and I can do well. But if I look back at it now, I'm like, I'm a much better player now than I was then, which is also nice to see. But no, that was a good experience. Getting to win is always cool.
So I take it even back then, like obviously you just admitted that you feel like you're a better player now than what you were back in early 2023. I take it after the win, it gave you a little bit of confidence, obviously, going back onto the Ladies European Tour and stuff. Like, I believe you had some very high finishes on the LET that year as well.
Yeah, it did. I think I maybe finished second twice that year on LET after that. So that definitely came from a bit of confidence. But sometimes, in all honesty, it's great. Like, getting to win is great, but sometimes I think maybe it put me off to like thinking that I was better than I was. Yes, I did finish second on the LET, but then I also played at the top of my ability.
Mhm.
And, I think, that every year you're always going to have a few weeks where you play to the top of your ability. But for me, that's not enough. Like your low level need to be higher, if that makes sense, to be able to really compete. And I think that's why after 23, like 24, I struggled a lot and I kind of fell back a bit. And I think maybe that came from being a bit like overconfident in 23, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Becoming a bit comfortable. So in a way, I feel like 24 kind of became like a bit of a wake up to me. Like I still need to work extremely hard to reach my goals, and there is no such thing as being comfortable out here. And every week is a new week and everyone starts on zero. So yeah, no matter how confident you are, like of course it helps to have that bit of like you walk maybe a bit taller, you feel a bit better, but at the end of the day, the job still needs to be done.
Yeah, just looking back on your 2023 actually, so like of course you had the Sunshine Tour win at the Data, but you also had a second at the Joburg Ladies, second at the Lacoste Ladies Open de France as well. I believe you were, I'm just trying to think from the top of my head, I never wrote down, like, who won that tournament again? I can't remember.
I know in Lacoste, Johanna won. Gustavsson.
Oh, yeah.
He got her first win there, which was actually really cool to see. She played so well.
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to think about. That I had a feeling it was Johanna Gustafsson.
Yeah.
You also had a tie ninth at the Irish Open, tie 12th at the very high purse, the Aramco Series events in London as well. So yeah, that's a testament to what you were saying about your game was in a slightly better place than what it was after that win in the Sunshine Ladies Tour. You seem to have a love affair with Ireland. I don't know what that is, but yeah, tie ninth, and then okay, in 2022, after 36 holes, you were leading the tournament in Ireland. I believe did you shoot a 62? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did. I shot 10 under, which was a very cool experience. Just a crazy day.
I mean, I can only assume with a round like that, you just feel like everything's going to drop,
Yeah, I made so many putts and I played so well. So yeah, it was a fun day. Like I will always remember that day. Actually, I still know I really enjoy that golf course. I could still tell you, most of the shots I hit during that round, and I can tell you every hole, what it looks like. And yeah, it's something like that, like you remember.
Yeah. And then obviously, like, I know we're going back a little bit, like, I know it's 2022, but just having that experience, on the Ladies European Tour, having a 36-hole lead to take into the weekend, I mean, was that a massive learning curve for you, obviously, to play with a lead at the weekend?
To be honest, it was a new experience to me. I hadn't been in that position before, so that was really cool. What I remember most is I can't remember which day. I think maybe the final day. I got to play with Leona Maguire in front of her home crowds, and that's something I'll never forget. Like I think the British fans are like, don't get my geography wrong now, but like on the British Isles, like all the fans are just amazing. And in Ireland, like they were like the best fans I've ever played in front of. So that was just an amazing experience. And then being close to the lead as well, being in contention, like that was new to me, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, I will let you off, but yeah,
Thanks.
Ireland is a separate entity altogether, so
But it's over there. Yeah.
it's over the water, but I'll let you off.
Thanks.
Yeah, I feel a little let down that you never mentioned the Scottish, but yeah, you have played the Scottish, haven't you?
once. It was my first time there last year.
How did you enjoy that experience? Obviously, it's a high-class field as well.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a cool experience. Very very tough, very Scottish weather is what they offered us. Yeah, I didn't score very well. I haven't played so much on links courses, so that was also a bit new to me. We're playing at Dundonald. I'm sure you know of it. It's a beautiful place. But no, so I'm actually very like excited to come back there for like a bit of revenge on myself to like see, okay, how, cause I know I can do better than I did. So, yeah, excited to get back on the links and see how I can do this year.
Yeah, well, once you come back for a Scottish summer and it's absolute bucketing down with rain again and stormy weather and 4 seasons in the one day, I'm sure you'll not be enjoying it anymore.
I know, but it rained in Saudi this year, so maybe Scotland will bring the sunshine.
4 days of sun?
The world's upside down at the moment, so who knows?
Yeah, no, for sure. I imagine I'm saying this now because I think I am going to Tenerife in June, but guaranteed it rains in Tenerife now just because it's the Ladies European raining through there.
All right. Yeah.
That would be horrible.
Hopefully it's nice and sunny there.
Yeah, hopefully. So like in terms of what you're like on a golf course, how would you kind of describe your on-course demeanor as such? Like, so like how would you describe like how you are on the golf course? Would you say that you're patient, or do you get a little, upset like at times?
I would like to say that most of the time I'm quite patient and try and just stick as much as possible to the plan that I've set up. Yeah, I think so. I mean, then there's times when I'm not, when I get frustrated and so on, but it's something that I work on as well. And yeah, just trying to stay as level as possible and not bring mistakes or bad shots with me.
Yeah, so like when things do get tough, have you had to, at times work on like things are going to be okay, just like, move on, don't let it kind of like, spoil your round as such. Like, have you managed to do that?
Yeah, it was actually nice for me to see when I played in Australia the last week at Wollongong. I think the third round I was 2 over or something through 12 holes. And then I turned it around and made 5 birdies my last 6 holes to finish 3 under. So I was like, okay, I can stay patient out here, and it doesn't matter if I'm not off to a good start. I can still turn it around and I can still do well. So that's some moment this year that I was very, very impressed with myself for turning it around like that.
Yeah, and then if you have that, quality that you can stay patient and don't let things kind of, escalate, that potentially, if you're in contention on the LET, that you could possibly get a job done. You never know. It's a nice quality to have.
Yeah, and I think, as you say, like sometimes you manage to do it just like you wanted, and sometimes you don't, and then that's how it is.
That's golf for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So out with the golf course, like what kind of fun activities do you like to enjoy doing? Like, I believe you're massively into the gym and stuff. Like, is there anything else that you really love doing?
Yeah, like I've said to my friends this year that we really want to try and do a few things outside of the golf, to have it feel a bit more like we're not only there to work. And that's actually been really nice. We've been cooking some. which I'm not so good at, but I help out. So, I help out to the best of my ability. And then, we've been to like done some hiking, and then, as you said, I do enjoy the gym. So we've been in the gym, and then we've done some shopping, and we've been at the beach some when we were in Australia. And just, going out for a nice dinner sometimes it just gets your mind off from golf. And I think that's really helpful and actually really important. Because when you think about it, no one works like 24 hours, but sometimes in the past, it's like I've been thinking about golf for 24 hours a week, and that's just sad. So this year is already off to a better start.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree on that one. So what, is there any possibility of you becoming, a master chef?
That's pushing it. But I have improved a little bit.
Nice. It's the small improvements that'll help you, get better and better and better, and then all of a sudden you'll be making dinner for 6 people or whatever.
Who knows? Who knows what the future will hold?
So when you said hiking, did you get a chance to go to the Tabletop Mountain in Cape Town?
Oh, I didn't go up there actually, but in Australia we went for a few hikes, just on the beach, and that was actually really nice.
Yeah, not fair enough. I mean, it seems like quite a lot of people, like whenever they go to Cape Town or the tour goes to Cape Town, at least once they try and get up the Tabletop Mountain, which was beautiful, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so pretty there. So yeah, I didn't this time, but yeah, it's definitely a go-to place.
So who would you say is your best group of friends on tour?
I travel a bit with some of the Swedish girls at times. And then I travel with my 2 closest friends outside of that Swedish group would probably be April from Thailand and Momoka from New Zealand. So we've had some good travels this year.
Are you not going to try and pronounce the surname?
Oh, I got their surnames down. But yeah.
Angurasani, is that right?
Yeah,
or
Angurasarni, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We'll get there. As you know, I'm Scottish, so pronunciation is not my strong points.
That's all right.
And now obviously there's quite a lot of Swedish girls on tour now on the LET, so I imagine that's great. And I believe you had your birthday celebrations in Sydney. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
what was that experience like? Obviously, having a Sydney birthday, that must have been magical.
No, it's cool. I mean, I said it to my friends as well. It feels a bit unreal. Like here, like people plan like maybe years in advance to go to Sydney and go to Australia and like everything they're gonna do, and we're just kind of here. And now it's my birthday, and we're eating dinner by the Opera House. It's.
Oh, wow.
It's nice. Like it becomes just in a way a bit like a fantasy, because we just get to see so many things and do so much that you never really thought maybe you would do. But yeah, it's such a privilege, and we had such a good time. It was, Swedish and Norwegian friends that came to celebrate with me in Sydney. So we stayed a few extra days there after the tournament. So it was perfect.
I think quite a few of them have been in this podcast. I'm not going to lie. So yeah.
Well, that's nice. That's nice.
No, there's been a few, that's for sure. So outside of obviously outside of golf as well, was there any? So growing up, was there any sports that you enjoyed the most, or were you a big sports person growing up?
Not really. I've always enjoyed skiing a lot. We've always skied with my family. But no, other than that, I was quite nerdy. I played the violin for a long time, and I loved school. So and then I played golf. So yeah, very geeky growing up.
Do you still play the violin to this day?
And no, I would need some practice for sure.
Are you not a world champion rope skipper? Oh, wait, that's Kajsa.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Some facts like that. So not too big on the sports then. So, no, that's interesting. I mean, it always feels like, with golfers, like they enjoy like all the other sports, etc.
Mm-hmm. I do like watching sports.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, it just wasn't really my thing growing up. So, but I always loved the golf, just the way you can practice so much and you can practice so many different things. I think that's what I've always enjoyed about it. Like it feels like you can always keep improving.
So if you had a dream free ball, so you're included, so just two others, who's it going to be? I presume possibly Annika might be there.
Oh, what a tough question. I didn't prepare for this. Yeah, playing with Annika would be cool. She's just the GOAT. Who else? I mean, I do watch men's golf a bit. I was really excited when Rory won. Now, at Augusta, after like fighting for so long for that like one win that he was missing. Maybe Rory. And then maybe actually just like my dad. I don't get to play with him often, but when I'm home, I always try and play a few rounds with him each summer. And it's just, yeah, it will always be something special. Like he's the one who introduced me to the game. So yeah, maybe I'll bring my dad as well.
Is he a good golfer himself, your father?
He's all right. Maybe 13 handicap. So he gets around.
Gets around. That's all that matters. Yeah, no, like obviously, I was gonna kind of say surely an all Swedish class. So you got Annika, and then if you go on the men's, you could get Ludvig Åberg. I don't know, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's such an inspiration now. It's fun to see him play so well. I think in Sweden, like it's been a long time coming, like for us to have a male player like perform so well and be so high up on the world ranking. Like it's been we have to go back a few years to have that. So it's nice. It's fun to watch, and just in general, watching him as a player, he has such a like quick little routine. He never seems to be frustrated on the course. Like in a way, like, oh, I wish I had some of those qualities,
So I'm gonna finish with one last question. So if there was anything in the game of golf you could change, what would it be and why? I think one of the top two answers would be, well, to be honest, I'll let you take away with it, but I think slow play would definitely be up there.
All right, yeah. Pace of play could definitely improve, I think, but maybe if there was like one rule I could change would be to, if you're in a divot, you get to move your ball. I think that would be it. Because that's not fair. I mean, it is what it is. But when you get up there and you're like in the fairway and then your ball's in a divot, that's just sad.
What's the worst ever lie from like an old divot that you've ever faced? Can you remember?
I can't remember. I try to forget about those things as quickly as possible.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Right, Moa. I do realise that we've been going on a little bit, so I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening, and then obviously preparing for Korea, where I believe that you're only going to Korea for the shopping, right?
We'll see. Hopefully some golf as well. But I have heard good things about the shopping.
Well, let's hope obviously you have a good time on the golf course, but you also enjoy your shopping as well when you're in Korea. And it's been great to have you on. Hopefully we'll maybe see you in the top 10, and we'll maybe see you get the LPGA Tour card.
You never know. Let's see. Thank you.
All the best. Thank you.